Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be learning how to make this wonderful Bubu gown. I went ahead to mark my shoulder measurements, which is 8. Then I added some inches allowance, about 15 inches or 14 inches allowance. Then I ruled my shoulder measurements. I mean, in this country now, if you don't know how to make Bubu dresses, then I don't know what you are doing. I went ahead to take my neck measurements. I took 3 inches by 3, which I later shortened the depth to 1.5 inch because I'm cutting the back of the Bubu gown first. You cut the back first. Then I went down by 2 inches for my shoulder slope from where I marked the 15 inches allowance. Remember, it's your normal shoulder measurement plus the allowance. Then I went down to mark my shoulder to nipple, which was about 10. Then I divided my bust into 4 and marked it. Then I added about 7 inches allowance. You can add anything from 4 to 7 or 8, depending on how big you want it to be. Then I marked my round sleeve, which I used about 9 inches. You can use anything from 9 to 10 inches. Then I connected it to where I marked my bust measurement. Then I went ahead to cut out my folded piece so I don't get confused. So I was just cutting it out. I wasn't doing anything much. Then afterwards, I took my Bubu slant. Like, I literally just took a straight line from the bust measurement straight down. I was just cross-checking the full length of the Bubu dress here. Like, from where you marked your armhole or your round sleeve slant, you just make something like you just make a slant to the down part, like a pencil slant. Unless if you want your Bubu dress to be a straight line dress, but mine, I needed the down to be a little bit pencil. So you can see how it looks. The down is looking pencil. So what I did basically is I just went ahead to cut it out. I was just cross-checking the full length of the Bubu dress. At this point, I was just cross-checking the hip measurement of my client. So because I made it pencil, I was just cross-checking to know whether it was too pencil or not. Then I went ahead to cut out the Bubu dress. Okay, I went ahead to cut the neckline. The neck depth is 1.5 inch. Then the neck width is 3 inches. Then I took down the shoulder slope. You can see what I did there. Then I cut the round sleeve. Remember, your shoulders, the round sleeve was from your shoulder to about 10 inches down. That is where I took my round sleeve. Then I went ahead to just cut the full border. So basically, that's just what I was doing at this point. So you can see that our Bubu gown is taking form. Like, you see the outcome. Stay tuned. So I folded it, and then what I will do now is that I will go ahead to use this back part to cut the front piece. So basically what I did for the front piece is I folded it into 2. Then I marked about 2.5 inch down, like on the folded part, not the open part. I marked 2.5 inches down with a straight line because my back piece will start from that line. That's 2.5 inch I marked. You can use 1.5, you can use 2 inches, but me, I prefer to use 2.5 because I like my lines bold at the end. So from that line is where you take your front measurement. So you can see I went for my neck width, I went by 3 inches. Initially, I wanted to make it a V-neck. That's why I was marking 6 inches down. But later on, I changed my mind and I did it a round neck. but you get to see that later on the video. So I just took my measurements, took my shoulder slants, everything about the front and the back, the measurements will be equal. The only difference is that the front will have some allowance at the front. So I just went ahead to cut my shoulder slope, as you can see me doing. I went ahead to trace out the whole body. Please do not forget to add your front allowance. Remember that you cut the back first, with the neck depth not being anything more than 2 inches. So I went ahead to cut the full body, the full Bubu dress. As you can see, they are equal now. The only difference is that the front has 2.5 inches allowance, you can see. So this is the point where I changed my mind and decided to make it a round neck. So I just came down by 3 inches, and then I marked the 3 inches out even on the allowance. You can see what I did. 3 inches, I marked it. The width is from the line I drew, but it extends down to the allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this 2.5 inches allowance. You can see me opening it up because it's going to be open. I will join it together from there. So basically that was just what I was doing at this point. You open up the front piece, then you go ahead to notch. Make sure you notch where you marked your 2.5, both at the up parts and at the down parts. Make sure to notch so you don't get confused in case you even forget how many inches allowance you added. So I was just doing some extra trimmings, making sure everything is equal so it doesn't affect me when I'm doing the joining. So you can see how the back piece is closed, but the front piece is open. You know, normally when you sew clothes, the place that is open is the back, but for this Bubu dress, the place that is open is the front, while the back piece is closed. Please take note, the open side is the front. So at this point I just went ahead to cut my facing because I'll be adding facing to this Bubu dress. I just trimmed out the neckline, trimmed about 3 inches on the shoulder, and then I cut it out. Of course you open up your facing because your front part is open. You can just do, as far as you've trimmed out the neck, just do freehand cutting for the facing. Then I also went ahead to cut the back neckline. So what I was doing, I was trying to cut the back facing. Then I went ahead to mark about some inches down. This is where I'll be joining. This is where I'll be joining the front piece together. So at this point I've joined it. I left about 10 inches allowance down, as you can see, and about 6 inches allowance up. That is if you want to join. You leave about 6 inches allowance up and 10 inches allowance down, depending on how you want the slit to be. So I'll join the facing to the neck. Then at this point I've weaved it. I've joined the front facing and the back facing. So basically now I'm marking my measurements where I will put my belt. Just divide your waist measurement by 2 and mark it sideways. Mark from this point to the other point, from the center point to the side point, and from the center point to the side point of the other one. So basically that was just what I was doing. And then I also went ahead to make my rope off camera. Then you can see me placing the back to the front. At this point our Bubu dress is almost ready. So how I join mine is that I join the facings together and then join it to the shoulder straight down. So I join the facing together and then join the shoulders. So basically that is what I'm going to do now. Join the shoulders, then you join the body. So you can see what I showed you on how to join it. So once you join the facing to the facing, and then you join the shoulder together, you then join the sides. So at this point I've joined and weaved. I've also gone ahead to add my rope, and our bubu gown is taking form. So what I will do is that I'll go ahead and use hemming gum to iron. I don't sew the edges, so it comes out very neat. I'll use hemming gum to iron it down, both the front allowance and the neck, this and the neck facing. So this is after I've ironed it. You can see how flat it looks. Look at the neck. And this is our finished bubu gown. I went ahead to add this stuff at the neck, so you can see how neat it is. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in my next video. Bye.